So Eric, to kind of review what we worked on here today, the picture on the right is going to show the front view of us needing to get a little more tilt as we come into the ball and get the right shoulder to work more under. Now we're going to see this more from the down the line view, but what we want to make sure is that you don't initiate any swing by a lean of the upper body. I don't want you transferring your weight with an upper body lean. I'd rather you transfer your weight with a lower body bump, right? So as we worked on this, you can see the complete difference. Now the weight transfer is moving the core to the left, and by moving the core, we're talking about the base of the spine. So all of a sudden we get tilt. Okay, that's going to make room for that right shoulder to work more under, so the right hip clears out of the way. Okay, now that's going to drastically change your angle of approach into the golf ball. It's going to be more of an on-plane motion. It feels like you're making a loop. It feels like you're going up, outside, and looping under. But that look coming in the ball is completely different than this look. Okay, right. This is too vertical. Okay, I need you to be more cleared out of the way so that we can get that that correct approach. Because this one right here, your right arm's almost in a push position, and we're going to work more across this golf ball. Okay, so what that results in are those low balls pulled left or the low slice spinners to the right. Okay, so this is a big difference. Now, as you come from the inside, just be patient with your club face, because your hands are going to need to educate themselves where squaring the club face will be from this new inside approach. So you might hit the ball well with a little push fade, but your trajectories are going to completely change all of a sudden. Okay, now what does that look like from down the line views? Well, that was a huge change. Okay, so we asked you to make a few adjustments in your address. Those adjustments were: let your arms hang just a little bit more. I like this position you're in on the left. Get the shaft angle to hunt more around the waistband versus up here above your tummy button, right? So when you take this club back on the right, I think, from our previous work and our previous lessons trying to not fan the club so inside, you're going more what we would say up the plane, much better. This is much better in my opinion. Okay? Now, when you initiated this downswing, again, remembering what we saw from the front view, you have this tendency to initiate the swing with an upper body lean towards a target. Now that's going to set the whole cycle of the right shoulder to work out, and now you're starting to tip the shaft out. Okay, so it's going above the plane. Anything above the plane, which the club head is right here, is now working from the outside under. Okay, so you work from here to here. That's working across the ball. Okay, it's going to kill our height. If we square it up, the ball's going to go too low in a pull fashion. We look over here on the left. This is where we're trying to make the circle, where we kind of go up the plane, maybe even out and above it. Then you're making that distinct bump of the lower body. So that hula action here, where your lower body transfer the weight distribution, and your feel is maybe that your head's tilting more behind the ball. Okay? So, not to copy anybody here, but stack, then tilt. Right? They want you tilted coming into the ball, maybe because you move the base of the spine forward, your hips, your core, and you keep the upper body back behind the ball where it was at address, right? So really it's a centered head, but everything's moving underneath it. It's not a centered core and move your upper body. So all of a sudden we just really changed the geometry of the swing. This is a much better delivery line right here. Now your height's going to come back to you twofold. You're going to just hit this golf ball so much different. This is more of a in-to-out motion. Okay, not that that has to be, but I think for Eric, this is what we really, really want to get. So again, this is a very, very, very clear change in what you're doing. You need to be mindful of a little bit of time up here. Be patient. As you get up to the top, let your these are bigger muscles. Let your core muscles start to transfer. Be patient up here. Once these core muscles start to move, this arm, hand, and assembly will drop back down a proper plane. If you don't move this core, you're going to move the upper body, and you're going to go around and out. Okay, so it's just massive difference. So, as I showed you here, I would say tilt and stay tilted, but be behind the ball and stay behind the ball. Right? Good picture for you to look at, this reverse K look, right? Ben Doyle used to talk to me all the time. Look at it. I want that reverse K, spine, right leg. That's the look. Okay, and I think that's what you did so much better here in your practice moves. Up. So in your practice, get it up there, feel those arms float back, move the core to the left, keep the head back. Feel those arms, hands, and club fall from inside out. In your practice, don't stand there and hit 50 drivers. We're not interested in that. But as you hit a couple of drivers, if you feel like you're getting that shoulder out and above, stop, get a tall tee, no ball, and make the exaggerated move like you're doing over here on the right. Okay, pump it a couple times. Get that swing to go up, drop under, shift with the lower body, hit inside out to the extreme. Then put a ball there, and I promise you those will probably go a little bit better. Okay, but don't stand there and fight it. Right. Don't throw more effort at it. Throw more smarts to it. So you're pretty clear with everything we worked on here today. You've done a great job. You've done a great job, in my opinion, in getting this backswing going back along your planes. So much better. You can see how the transition now is working so much different. That club is approaching the ball from a complete different arc of approach now. I mean, just completely. Remember, if you don't move the weight with the lower body, you're going to try to do it with your upper body, and your shoulder is going to work two around. So soften that. That right shoulder a little bit more passive at address. I think we had one there where I thought that right shoulder was a little bit better at address. I always want to see a little piece of that left arm. See, I like this setup better over here on the left. I like this setup. I mean, angles and orientation, but obviously there's a little more passiveness to this right side here. Okay? You did real well, and you just keep working on that, and you get back to me if you have any questions. That was good work today.